I actually don't know where to start, but I'll start from the beginning. It was back in the year of 2017. 2017 was a really exciting year from after I got my hands on the PlayStation 4 Pro. And I wanted to get some games on it. So I got a couple of games and I got Destiny 1, the Collector's Edition. It means about you get all the collection of DLCs that has been released after the years passed. Like you get the expansions and the DLCs. And I was not completely ready because of the legal ages after you put your real legal age into it. And after a day's time or week's time, in the exact same year of 2017, it was close to my birthday, and I started hopping on. And after the very first time hopping on, I feel that I wanted to make my own character. And I made a character as a female hunter, and I stand by that choice. And after the very first time experiencing it, I started to wanted to see more of the detail of the storytelling. And like jumping on the first time, playing the character that you have created, and you've been waken up by a delusional, some sort of mechanism gadget called a ghost. That was at the time, like I didn't even learn about the lore of Destiny at the time. But whenever I got more into the campaign, I wanted to play more. I wanted to know more of the storytelling. So after from completing the original campaign from D1 first released, I started to play Crota's campaign. And from after playing the campaign, it's got a storytelling from where Eris Morn begins, and from playing that expansion, it get more detail of deeper into the storytelling. And then playing the next expansion that is for Fallen, and it didn't, to me, right, like before then, it didn't got to the DLC companion of the expansion storytelling, and I personally do not feel like it's actually like barbaric of that type of DLC of talking about the Fallen and trying to find the leader that is actually using the Vex technology. So, in my opinion, it didn't work out well to me, honestly. And then after then, I got into the Taken King. And to be really honest, the Taken King expansion DLC was actually really was like one of the hype ones that I ever heard. Like I remember back in school, I always been hearing about this. Like they always been raving about this DLC called the Taken King, which I don't even know about it. And ever since then, I played through with it, and it started to grow into me. Like I really started to like the Taken King expansion, and raiding the boss of the Taken King himself and playing the raid of Kingsfall was actually really fun. And then I played Crota's End raid and the Vex raid, but I haven't tried the War Machine. That's the next bit I want to say. I have hopped into Iron Banner. That is supposed to be the last DLC of D1. And ever since then, I played it. It got really into the storytelling. So, in my opinion, the storytelling that is really good is the original storytelling, Crota's End, Taken King, and the only Iron Banner, which is one of the four main stories that is actually kind of makes more sense. But I'm not gonna hate over the Fallen DLC expansion, but it just needs a little more authentic to increase more of the storytelling. But right now, it's all been in the past, and everything was actually going really well. But ever since then, I kept playing on in Destiny universe, and I have started to grow into the community of like seeing some new friends into Destiny, starting to learn more about what type of weapons are actually more powerful, more nerfed, and overpowered. I started to grow more into the Destiny community, and I started to want to know more of the lore. And every single time when I go out to the public, like, you know what? your Destiny character and this and that. This is what can be like a reality of like, oh, I wanted to make this type of story. I want to make this type of story. It's getting your to the creative mindset of like you can do this to make a Destiny character about your character, and that's where I didn't even not even know that. And from time to time, keep playing to Destiny. I've been seeing some multiple events been happening during Iron Banner, and you know what? I'll try some out. Like I was like really late into the Destiny community universe. Like I remember been hearing about Destiny ever since then. Like from around 2013 when Xbox One and PlayStation 4 were becoming as a thing. And from around 2014, that was the actual release of the year of Destiny. And everybody was been raving about it because Bungie is one of the creators with Microsoft to make Halo. Like I was around Halo at the time, and I remember playing my very first Halo was Halo 3. But I remember playing some Halo games with my cousins and all that, and that was back during the time of when I was young. And it started like getting to know more of like this is like Halo in a different level, Destiny in a different universe with different enemies, with the Fallen, with the Hive, with the Taken, with the like Stasis. Oh man, there's a lot of ones in my list that you can name them, you can know them, and you will always remember the Vex, and you always remember the iconic enemies that we fight against in D1. And most of all, when the Taken King and Iron Banner been released in multiple months time or a year time, they started to introduce the new enemies in the community called the Taken and Siva. Siva enemies from the Iron Banner. The Taken are supposed to be the Taken enemies that has already been taken away and has been using their souls to regenerate as the enemies that we fought before, but in a different battle zone, different combat systems, and whatever they will do to us to fight against. And there was the Siva. Siva is supposed to be one of Warmind's, Rasputin's technology experiments, but some things have been going wrong ever since then. And after that, Rasputin was never been heard from again. And after then, coming back from these mats in this year of 2023, it brings a lot of memory. It brings like a lot of good memories to my very first time jumping into D1. And I always remembered I only have something like the iconic exotic weapons that I always known and always loved. And from seeing me using this weapon, that is supposed to be one of the starter weapons that you first ever got into D1, and they bring it back during Iron Banner, I will never regret it. I will never regret it my whole entire life to jump into D1. And that was actually since then I started to liking more of the storytelling. Like to me, storytelling is more important than the graphics and the character designing. I always care about more of the storytelling. The storylines has to make more sense. And after playing the campaign, it's started to grow in me. And ever since then, I've always been returning back to D1 and just go around, just aim at the certain targets and just like earn how many XP that you can get. There's been a lot of changes since then. Ever since then, D1 has having been a lot of changes, a lot of updates, and it's supposed to have like a racing game, but now it's been got rid of. And I was not around that time, and I kind of wish I was trying it. But I think, if I remember correctly, I think I was participated in a race before, but I don't even remember completely correctly of how did I got to the spot. And ever since then, I still play Destiny. I still played Destiny at the time, and then I started to like see that it started to get more boring. But ever since then, I started to like wanted to get more into like the strikes, the nightfalls, the crucible. I've been doing that ever since I've played D1. So I wanted to do some more competitive multiplayer events. And after during the events, it started to get more interesting when you go to multiple other events of the Strikes and Crucible, and they have the Trials of Osiris as well. But I don't think they called Trials of Osiris in D1, but I don't even know much of it ever since I was first hopped in D1. Well, I didn't have the chance of doing those type of events. I was like so late, but I had my chance to play the collection. And when you get the collection game, you get the Gjallarhorn, the iconic Iron Gjallarhorn that you can get for during the Iron Banner expansion, which that was actually really awesome. And plus that, you can get the Iron Vehicle as well. I still have it on that day. I still have it in the account. I still have it, and I'm really happy about it. Overall, it's so like bringing the goodness of the memories back. To see around me where I first started and where I am now. In D1, it's just like you never thought you will see it, the Judge a Book by its cover. Like I remember one time I watched one of the YouTube creators play Destiny, and it never growed on me. And ever since then, I remember going to school, and I've always been hearing about this from some of the certain friends that I know of. They've been telling me about it, and I'm like, you know what? I want to learn more about this. And after learning about it, I started to know that I needed to get myself into the game and try to experience a little bit. So I remember going to a friend's house, launching Destiny 1 on the Xbox One, and it was actually fun. I actually now started to know, you know what? I needed to get myself a new console to play this game. And ever since then, it was competing of like which one, Xbox or PlayStation. So after then, I got myself a PlayStation Pro and I launched the game. And then I gotta wait for myself to not be age restricted from around 15 after the turn 16. And then hopped into the game, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed playing the game so far. And make my own character as a hunter, as the XR female. I was actually stand by my character. Like I did really well with it, and like it's not like overwhelming to me. I'm happy about it. I'm not gonna fight about it. And honestly, let's go to different planets and let's go for the last place. And this is the last place we're gonna be here. This is Old Russia on Earth. And this is the only one last map of the during the campaign on Earth. It's really like one of the saddest moments to accept after journeying from the D1. Like ever since I played the campaigns really well, like I was melting through. Like I was like leveling up how to like, I didn't even know this stuff. Like I was leveling up really good. And ever since then, I hopped into the Iron Banner campaign, and seeing the enemies, they did really good with the designing of the enemies, of the stasis that is just a base about. And as you can see, I almost need to complete one more thing for the Blade Runner on Ark, but I can finish it one time. But back at the story. It's just good to see the Iron Banner was like one of the strongest campaigns to be released after the very end. Like there's a lot of potential on D1. Ever since then, they just wanted to keep focusing on with some new events and anything that is just going to be in close encounters. Like certain events like the Prison of Elders, the raids, the campaigns, that is just you want to keep going back and forth. Crucibles, strikes, nightfalls, anything you wanted to do is just right there at your face, and you will do one of the events and the campaigns. And you just don't get bored of it, but after you wanted to play for 24/7, you just want to grind it. You wanted to grind as hell. And multiple times, I didn't even know some certain creators at the time that has always been like melting through the raids. I remember going on my first raid, I think it was the King's Fall, and it was like going through the whole entire thing. Like I didn't have like a good memory at the time, like what to do and all that. And ever since then, I completed my first raid in King's Fall. And after that, I think I completed my second raid is Crota's End, and my third raid I completed is the Vault of Glass. I never got myself a chance to do the War Machine. If I do the War Machine, I can give it a shot. And I will give it a shot to complete it. And I always not been interested in doing raids, but is it supposed to be the one of the only times that you have to like level up your armor and your weapons? To level up more, to compete on the certain light level that you have to be on. And to be really honest, it's the most of the time being that what I know about. But before I end this, about from the during the universe of D1, as I just melting around, just running and walking, just killing the certain enemies, there's a one memory that I really enjoyed at the time. And before I'll say that, there's something I wanted to say. I'm just really happy to be into the Destiny community, and I was never wanted to like ever think about this game is not going to grow on me one day. And ever since then, it did grow on me, and I'm really happy about it. And I wanted to like say thank you to a friend that showed me the Destiny video game, that you can actually start loving this when you know a lot to make a community into the Destiny game universe. And I was really happy about it. I was really happy with that choice. I took the risk and I did it. And from all of that, we're going to head to the last location of the piece of the memory that we cannot forget. You know this direction. You know this like layout. We're heading to a certain place that multiple events always been happening, to be grinding to find some more powerful level up gear and weapons that you get some high chances of new exotics. We're heading to this area that you know, the Eris Keep. That's right, one of the main key areas to have fun, to grind, and just do whatever you like. We'll just head to the room, go inside, and talk about it. And there's just a lot of things of the memory that I always will not forget entering into the Destiny community with some new people online. This room right here was a lot of things that have been changed. I remembered seeing this and the others on left and right, and where the enemies come out of the door, and you have to use a secret Siva key to get the event running, and then it just closes up with the Siva virus. With this enemies, it will just come out into those doors where their shadows are, and in that room as well. But everything around here has always been happening, but let's go in there. This is the part of the memories that I always say, but I'm not going to say anything because I'm not sure if they fixed it or anything, but I'm not going to say about it. But this room right here gives a lot of memories, where you hear that scorching, scary sound that you just feel like you're not alone. But when you go through here, you will just find the enemies, and then you will go through some other rooms with the technologies everywhere. You just find some enemies that is just random, and yeah, you just wanted to go down where the main end mission goes. And this whole entire area of the expansion of the DLC Iron Banner was a really good fun expansion. You will get to multiple chances to use the Iron Banner hammer or axe to use the fire of the Iron Lords. It's really cool. And ever since, you become as the Young Wolf, and that's the part of the Iron Banner clan, which is really fun indeed. And you just don't want to get tired of it at all. But to come to think of it, some of the most things that has been happening into the Destiny community that there's always been a lot of things, like some sort of glitches, some sort of like key factors and hiding places that you just wanted to find some more Easter eggs. And some of the certain Easter eggs that you find, oh yeah, that's the symbol of Siva right here. And just some certain Easter eggs that you wanted to find, like, oh, you haven't collected this for a certain piece of the exotic. That's one of the main areas that you can find. And around this area, which we got in, when you go further down, you can go to the left side and you see pieces of Siva that you find a door that is all laser up, like exactly like that one right in front of me. You would go in and you find the hammer of the Iron Lords, which it's actually really like a mystery puzzle. Like you want to get more used to of like fighting something that is related to puzzles. When it's related to puzzles, you know what you're doing. And they always change a lot of chests as well. A lot of chest openings with new offer of loot. You know, loot has always been a lot of space to like to give the loot to us to use for eventually what is right. And the one thing that I really missed into this game of Destiny 1 is when you get heavy ammo. Oh my god. I did not even learn about it after since then. Heavy ammo is your best friend. When you buy heavy ammo from the gunsmith, you will get heavy ammo when you're in certain raids or any certain strike or nightfall. You will be prepared to melt down the enemies. Like, you're just gonna cook. You're cooking it. You're cooking that big pot of yours to defeat the whole entire enemy base. You're cooking it. You're cooking and you're cooking your super. What I can say, it's mostly the learning techniques that you are learned from a certain gamer that has experience with into the Destiny game. And I was around the time like, oh, okay, I'm starting to get used to it. I'm starting memorizing. I started to become as a professional myself, but I don't remember a lot with the raids. Like, don't get me started. I only will remember when I like just don't talk over it, just go at it, just do it. You have to do it, you have to do as you're told. Like, you're in the kitchen and the chef will tell you, the food is goddamn raw! Yeah, you just gotta like wing it. You have to like listen what you're doing. And oh yeah, I died here. Yeah, but don't worry about that. You just got to do it and listen forwards, and you will just not gonna screw everything over. Yeah, that's just basically it. So basically, after you defeat this enemy, there is like a tunnel that you already know where it leads to, and that's where we're going to be like finishing off around the Destiny 1 community. I'm just gonna say, like, for one last time, the Destiny community of Destiny 1 was really fun. Like, starting to know the people of the Destiny community, learning about new players, learning about new techniques of what you can do into the game, and basically it was a fun ride. And I'm not gonna forget Destiny. I'm hopeful that they don't close the server of Destiny 1, because if anybody has not been trying to play the whole entire expansions, like coming to think of it, the one worst thing you cannot do now is to buy the expansion pack for Crotus expansion, Fallen expansion, the Taken King, and Iron Banner, because the servers are concentrating with the new game, which we're going to be talking about soon. And it's so much of desirable of like, do they really want to do that? Like, I really wish that they can get more chances of higher buck of the value, that you could still get the expansion and play the game. So you can learn more of it and you don't want to miss out. So you don't like research and watch the whole entire thing, but you have to like experience it and play for yourself. So I kind of wish that the Bungie like takes a different direction And this is around the time where Bungie and Activision were working together in D1. And most of the things were changed after Sense of the future. So, I'm just going to say this. There's just some things have been changed. And some things have been changed and soon or later, after we get through to this room, where you can fight the final bosses and during the Iron Baron expansion. And yeah, that's it. That's where the room is. And that's where it all happens. So let's hop into the tower and let's just say our goodbyes to D1. But first of all, let's go see our old friend, Cayde-6. And honestly, from after watching the final shape, I am really excited to see Cayde-6 again in a new form of matter. And it's going to be really difficult to see the group coming back together again after the lost cause of the voice actor of Zavala. But I'm really happy to see the whole entire group again. And I wanted to see what will happen with the whole entire three to work together as a team once again, forever. So yeah, that's it. That's the whole Destiny 1 experience of my story life. And I'm really happy that I can join to the community of Destiny 1. And come to think of it, looking at the Traveler at the time, it was really thoughtful. So, with this whole entire book of 2017, it started to come around as 2018. And then Bungie announced something. They announced one more game that they have released. If I remember correctly, the year of 2018. Let's go back into the present day of Destiny 2, where everything with this universe is starting to change. And from this where we have to go to the new story called the Red War. The Red War is based from the Cabal, and we have to defeat a new enemy known as Ghaul, Indominus Ghaul. And after then, he took our light from us. And when he took the light from us, we're the only Guardian that had the light. Find the shard of the Traveler from the ETC that is on Earth, that we did not even know the secrets until we met Hawthorne. And after then, we got the brand new light, and we gathered the whole entire Guardians from other planets, from the solar system, and we formed into together to take back the tower. And after then, new story begins. Different chapters, different expansions, and then we got Forsaken. Forsaken that would meet Cayde-6 end. It was a sad moment for all of us in the Guardian community. And after then, we defeated the new enemies of the Scorn. And we stopped Uldren Sov. And then we gave the bullet to the Ace of Spades. And Uldren Sov is now rising up to become as the Crow. And then new expansions came by and we learned about we are dealing with the enemy of the Pyramids of the Darkness. And that's from the Shadows on the Moon. And then we got a new expansion called Beyond Light, the new DLC. And we got through Europa, if I name it correctly, to meet up with the Exo Stranger once again. That's really a good moment. And after then, we got some new expansion called the Witch Queen. The Witch Queen, we met with Savathun. It was a really good moment. And then we defeated Savathun, but I really wish we didn't, because now we need her help. She needs our help. And that's where we're going to talk about this. We're going in to this new season called the Season of the Witch. Why, I may ask? Well, after you get to the start of the Season of the Witch, when you hop into your character and you play in, this what will happen.
Xivu Arath draws strength from our conflict. She believes her logic absolute. I will grasp it and contravene its power. There is no other way.
Will you come back from this?
Does it matter if I do? What I am has served me. and has served humanity.
Arka, Zeta, Sen. This is what Savathun wants.
We serve our interests, not Savathun's.
She's outmaneuvered you again. You need me.
We need your silence. Do not be afraid. Bear witness to my sublimation. I separate the true from the dead. I am the many-mouthed hunger. I am the knife-edged truth. I devour the free. I conspire with my vengeance. I will take what I need. The words in my throat are the weapon in my fist. Hayat! Hayat! Hayat!
Knife-edged truth. Bring me your tithes.
And that's what happens. Eris Morn became as the Hive, part human, part Hive. Well, she already was back then, and now she's morely like have a suit of armor of the Hive, what the Hive is wearing. So what does this actually mean now during the season? Well, we're going to find out more for the weekly times to defeat Savathun. Not defeat Savathun, my mistaking. Xivu-Arath. Yeah, we needed to find out more details how to defeat Savathun's sister. Because this has to be during the end, Xivu-Arath to stop being so critical of the war. And she's just mentally unstable of Xivu-Arath has been doing around this time. So during now this season, we're going to use Fire by Fire, using the Hive magic to create deck of cards and using the spells from the staff that you have seen from the cutscene, that we're going to do anything, whatever it takes, of how this period of time is going to happen. And from everything you've seen, this is just the main point of what we have to do into the game. And this is only just the main part of it. Getting through the whole entire season of The Witch when you first hop in, you just always wanted to be questioning what is happening now with the whole entire gameplay. As you can see, when you step on the spire, you get these weapons as you're familiar with them, and you just do whatever it takes to kill the enemies of the ads, whatever you do. And also you just kill the light wizard to destroy their ghost, even that as well. So what you see here, you see an arc crystal, right? You have to get all the arc crystals, all combine it in to defeat a Hive wizard light. So that's basically much, and you have to do it the whole entire 3 times. 3 times you have to do them. And when you complete all of it, you have to do it 3 times, like I said. This is only just the main part of it. But I remember from the trailer, it only shows Arc, Solar, and Void. And this is only the Arc mission. So you have to do something else in the Void and the Solar. So that's only the main part of it. I'm gonna be honest, the gameplay is actually not really as bad as what I thought it was. You have to get to the crystals with the Arc, and you just need to assemble them. That's just simple as that, honestly. Really simple. That's what you just gotta do in the main mission. And after you get to the whole entire end, you have to defeat a boss. Well, familiar with this one, you know from the Forsaken, you know, the sniper and all. That's the only boss we have to do. And yeah, I was only just playing online people. But this is only just the main part of it that you have to do into the Season of the Witch. And that's just whatever you gotta be finishing it, you have to gotta be going to the next step, and that's where you have to do the cutscene of what I showed you. This is after during the beginning after you get hopped in to see Eris Morn transform to the Hive. So that's basically much it, honestly. And look at her. She looks so sick of the armor piece that she's now wearing with the Hive. And with the whole entire things are going on her like shoulders, it fits in. But let's say about this. You see we have the campaigns that they have been talking about, but they didn't have the Red War one. But as you see right here, that slot, we only have one more season of Season 23. And right here, the story continues. So what does that even mean? Well, if you remember from the trailer, I mean, not the trailer, but when Bungie said about, there's got to be 3 particular episodes. And there's got to be some more context of the episodes of like, is this going to be talking about the aftermath of the Light and the Darkness saga? Kind of bit like Endgame. If you remember from the Avengers Endgame, we see the bit of the aftermath from Spider-Man movies and some of the other aftermath from like particularly around about if I will be continually talking about this, I'll talk about what you have to do on here in this mission. As you can see here, you have to defeat the Knight. But the only way you have to complete this is you see the Spire is actually all ready up and ready to go. You have to defeat the Hive, but when you gotta do, like I was trying to figure this out, what you have to do when you have to collect one of the shadows to get the whole entire where's the word I was about to say? The whole entire like bouncing, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. You got to activate that and defeat a wizard, and then you head to the Spire to activate. So you got to do 3 at a time. You got to do 3 times at this. So that's basically what you have to do in this mission. Like, what I'm continuing on, this whole entire scenario and during of Endgame, like I said about Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, there's got to be some more context of the episodes. Like, in my opinion, if I have a theory, is this going to be talking about the aftermath of Destiny 2? And because if you remember from what Bungie have announced, that they're going to make a game called the Marathon, which Marathon was a wild time when I was born. Like, I didn't even know it at the time. Marathon is supposed to be based about you play as a first-person shooter and you run around and you need to collect certain items and then you have to survive. Like, is this going to be part of the Destiny lore? I'm not particularly sure. There's got to be, like I said, there's got to be some more context of the episodes of Journey from the Final Shape. And there's needed to be a lot of like lores, a miscreate of like what's going to happen next with the Destiny community. Is there going to be a Destiny 3? Well, I'm not particularly sure. Because if the Light and Darkness saga is going to be finished, there's got to be like more context about it. But let's talk about this mission. As you get to the other area, you will be dealing with the Vex. And then you have to make sure the 2 main Vex enemies that you see on the screen, you got to make sure that they will not succeed of getting into that freaking item effect that is going to be making them to suck into the portal. So you got to make sure. I'm not sure what will happen, but just make sure they don't get in. And that's basically what you have to do. And then the other 2 main ones will rise up, and that's the only 3 Vex bosses that you're going to be doing in this area. Like I was about to say, if it will be a Destiny 3 for the Light and Darkness saga to be not continuing during Destiny 2, what was going to be happening in the future of Destiny? I'm not sure, but if I remember correctly, there will be some few things that are going to be happening in the future. of the Destiny community. There's got to be some more context. Will there be a Destiny 3 or not? Well, because it only depends on the face of the value of the whole entire train line. Of the train of what the story is going to be going on. Like, they have to keep going on a straightforward line of what is going to be all about. And this whole entire thing is just going to be based of what is going to be happening in around during this time of Destiny 2. I'm just going to like say this. I'm just really happy that I got to the into the whole entire Destiny 2 community as well. Like, I remember one day, like, oh, I needed to get this game. And then when the Red War happened, it started to get more deep into the storyline of like, there's multiple enemies out there are going to take everything from your tower of the Lost City. And then you have to take it back when you ever get it. And then there was Forsaken, Shadows, Beyond Light, the Witch Queen, and now we're going to be facing the final shape, which I'm really happy that we're going inside to the Traveler of the Main Heart, so we can find out what's actually in there from the base of the trailer, and we can finally see Kate 6 in person again, because it's been a long ride without Kate 6. And also this mission, you have to do the exact same thing, activate the crystals, and then you defeat the boss. So that's basically much it for this one of the main mission. And coming back to this, I'm really happy Kate 6 is coming back, and now the whole entire team, like Zavala and Ikora, are coming back, which it's going to be explained what's going to be happening with Zavala. Like, was there like recordings at the time? Yeah, there might have been some recordings on the voice of Zavala at the time before everything happened, because they always been doing a lot of scripting and after all that time. So it's going to be really interesting, and I'm really interested of like what is the Witness going to be looking like during the raid boss. Oh my god. Like, after hearing about, they're going to be focusing the campaign, but we're not going to be defeating the Witness in the campaign. We're defeating the Witness at the raid, and I'm really excited what the beast looking final form of the Witness that's going to be look like with our Guardians are defeating the Witness. So I wanted to thank you all for watching and listening to my story of where I have started Destiny, and right now into the present time with the Season of the Witch. And I just wanted to say I'm really grateful to be into the community of Destiny, and just wanted to play through the whole entire game without like sharing it a lot. But there's just going to be a lot of things now with the brand new expansion of the Final Shape. Is going to be the final DLC for Destiny 2, and during after the episodes, like I said, we need some more context about. So I wanted to thank you all for being here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and put the notification bell on to be up to date for brand new videos. I want to reach to this goal to make this as a full-time job as a YouTuber. And I wanted to thank you all for supporting me. Thank you, all of you. Goodbye.